Behind the scenes of all the drama and the noise that has been really kind of gaining a lot of focus from a lot of people, we have been witnessing some very big moves being made. Recently, we saw a lot of people arguing over XRP and XLM and which one's better and this, that, whatever. But the thing is that I think that we should all be focused on what's actually happening around this space, which is that big shift from the whole, hype and speculative sort of, area to now a more inline view of just how significant utility actually will be and how we are starting to get to that, target of, finally having utility taken seriously. So, with that being said, I actually have a lot to talk about when it comes to XLM and Stellar and what's happening. So, sit back, relax. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. Let's dive on in and let's actually start off with this post here from Build on Stellar, because recently there has been some very big events happening around Stellar to really kind of push the ecosystem forward. For an example, 9 ecosystem teams showed their build special. Guests from Huma Finance talking PayFi collab, which we will talk about here in a second. And then, of course, Embark program demos. Good to see everyone. And again, these events, even though a lot of people think that these events aren't that significant, they're crucial actually. They're very important for the ecosystem to advance further, bring on more dapps, innovate further as well. So I always love to see these events happening around these communities because they definitely are very important. So got to give a big +1 for Stellar to actually, be at these events, holding these events, and just seeing a lot of great moves being made around the dev side and around the ecosystem side. Now, outside of this, talking more so about the future of Stellar, Danielle Dixon, of course, the CEO and executive director at the Stellar Development Foundation, put out a post talking about the Stellar Development Foundation's 2025 roadmap, feature complete. So there's a lot within this, obviously. I can make a video just talking about the full roadmap itself, but I'm just going to allow Danielle to really kind of summarize this for us. So we have here, after 10 years of building, we can confidently say that this network is feature complete for the next decade. When we started this journey, many thought blockchain was just about faster payments, but we knew it could be more. Today's roadmap shows how far we've come and, more importantly, where we're going. Feature complete doesn't mean we stop innovating. It means we've built the foundation that developers and institutions can trust for decades to come. Time to take this rock solid infrastructure and scale it globally. I couldn't be prouder of our team. While others chase quick wins, we focused on building something lasting. DeFi, payments, RWAs, all on one unified platform that just works. This is what blockchain was always meant to be. The next decade isn't about adding more bells and whistles. It's about scaling what works to reach the global majority. Let's make it happen. Now, listen, I have always talked about Stellar in a positive way on this channel. And, ever since we witnessed some big moves being made around Stellar, for an example, of course, we have to go back to Franklin Templeton, right? First major tokenization endeavor from an institutional player like Franklin Templeton, and they chose Stellar. Now, they chose Stellar because of the features that it had, specifically the clawback feature. Okay, I bring that up because, Stellar has made very undercover moves. And when I say that, they're out in the open for anyone to really kind of look into, research, find. But the problem is that Stellar is so overlooked, even today. And a lot of that, I do think, also goes back to the whole idea of like, we kind of have this infighting in this space where it's like, all right, well, I don't need to hold XLM, I hold XRP. Again, people can think like that, but I love holding both of these assets because of the fact that, like, all right, well, XLM, in my opinion, is more for the retail sector, while XRP is more for like the private sector. Now, is that how the ledger and the networks are actually created? No, of course not. That's just how it feels because of the target audience. Now, of course, when we think about the next 10 years of this space, we know that the space is destined for greatness. We know that 10 trillion in market cap will be achieved. We know that the next 10 after that will happen very quick. It's a snowball effect. And it is mainly because the next big wave of adoption isn't going to be coming from the retail side. It's going to be coming from the enterprise and institutional side, launching products to onboard millions and millions and millions of users. And they're not even going to know about the technology. That's why I put so much time into actually talking about the tech, so that you all understand how crucial it is to focus on the tech side. I understand that it's great to talk about, meme coins all day long and say, oh, well, look at this meme coin that just did, a 10,000x. And, oh, this guy put $5 in and he made, $5 million, even though 99% of that is all nonsense. We know that insiders are trading them. We know that there's teams that are, getting airdropped massive amounts of tokens. And then, they hire KOLs to just pump their bags. Like, when we think about this space, there is so much noise that just crowds everyone's judgment. And Stellar is one that never relied on that. This is one of those utility-based projects that at times, it was very boring to talk about, but today it's a completely different network. Today there's so much happening. Today they're actually pushing things forward. And one of those things is actually the PayFi market. So PayFi is the next frontier of finance. Integrating payments with on-chain financing can unlock new and affordable financing opportunities. This is a big one, right? So let's actually look into this. So here we have PayFi, short for payment finance. Integrates payments with on-chain financing and blockchain technology to enable the free flow of value on-chain by building on the foundation of Web3 payments with real-world assets and decentralized finance. PayFi unlocks new and affordable financing opportunities. Now, PayFi is just another great use case. Guess who for? For the retail sector. Again, this is incredible for the retail sector. Now, could this definitely be, great for institutional players too? Yeah, 100%. But the main goal here is to allow anyone to become their own bank, essentially banking the unbanked. That's the end goal for, what Stellar was originally, crafted to do. But if we actually look at this, right, this is allowing the on-chain financial system to become a reality through RWA tokenization, with DeFi converging at a rapid pace with new opportunities, things like that. Like, this is exactly that vision. Having tokenized RWAs on chain where, people can, for an example, borrow against them or have yield creation from them. Like, that's exactly what this is becoming. Tokenization is not just, oh, let's tokenize something and leave it on chain. No, tokenization is, let's tokenize it, put it on chain so that it can either be bought and sold, swapped between other assets, or I can borrow against it, or other people can borrow against it, or, I can create a pool with it, things like that. Like, this is DeFi. Like, DeFi has always been a huge piece of crypto, but today it's so much bigger. It's so much bigger, and DeFi is another piece of that puzzle for the tokenized economy, for the on-chain economy as well. And Stellar is now pushing this forward, which I love to see, because again, it's just another piece of the P2P and the retail side, but also for the institutional side. Because again, Stellar is not just designed for P2P. No, that's their bread and butter though. Like, that's their main, focus essentially. But they also do, focus on institutional and things like that as well. But outside of this post, we also saw a pretty big update from Stellar as well, which was the regulation side of things. So this actually got posted on the 19th. We're releasing updated sustainability metrics that align with indicators in the EU's MiCA regulation. Stellar is leading the way on blockchain sustainability. So again, they want to make sure that they are fully prepared for any market, any sort of regulations that really kind of come out around those markets as well. And MiCA is definitely a big one. We've talked about MiCA many times on this channel. It's a huge regulatory framework to really kind of set the stage for every other framework, to really kind of follow through with it as well. But Stellar really kind of preparing for this, or at least updating and being transparent with their metrics, is a huge plus one on their end, because again, it allows them to really kind of focus on the EU market, target the EU market as well, because we know that Stellar is a global initiative. We know that this is a global initiative. So I'm actually very excited to see this. And again, it just kind of shows you that Stellar is really prepared here for, anything to really kind of get thrown at them. So love to see this update, along with, of course, the new overall roadmap, really kind of outlining the last 10 years of building on Stellar as well. So, this is huge. Now, outside of this, right, I quickly went over the quarter 4 numbers in a previous video, going back to like the beginning of the month. But I want to bring this up real quick again, simply because of the payment side of things, right? We know that payments are changing. We know that this market is really kind of looking at payments as a huge innovation now, mainly, stablecoin payments. But outside of payments, there's also a lot more happening on Stellar, because again, I know that we focus a lot on the P2P payments with like MoneyGram and things like that. We always have focused on that in previous videos as well. But if we actually look at the quarter 4 numbers here for Stellar, it's actually quite impressive. Number one, 9 million plus total addresses, 458 million real world asset supply, 4.1 billion RWA payment volume, 19.1 billion total volume, 557.2 million operations, and 5.93 seconds ledger close time. Guys, Stellar has recorded some significant growth. The TVL was up 640%. It's the number 9 fastest growing ecosystem. 18 billion total network transactions, 6.2 million enterprise and matching fund as well. Now, in terms of actual, major adoption here, check this out. Stellar smart contracts, Sorbonne's growth story. Blend became the first protocol to surpass 15 million in TVL. 4 additional protocols achieved milestones, 2 exceeding 5 million in TVL and 2 surpassing 1 million. Sorbonne total TVL surged 640%. Then, of course, new partnerships. Guys, MasterCard with crypto credential, Paxos bringing USDL to Stellar, Refugees program expansion as well, first Wyoming stablecoin qualification as well, and then, of course, building better on Stellar. So they did have that Spanish documentation launch, enhanced Stellar bot, unified CLI across Stellar and Sorbonne, and then lab testing coverage expansion, and then integration with not only Dune, but we also saw Nansen and then Artemis as well. So again, Stellar, like I said, they've been working overtime. There's been a lot of great moves being made around the Stellar ecosystem, really kind of pushing XLM forward, in my opinion, even more. Now, I would love to see a little bit more on the XLM side, to really kind of back XLM in a bit. I would say the way that I look at it is I want to see XLM backed completely for a lot of the payment use cases. I understand how XLM is used in the Stellar ecosystem. I just want to see a little bit more from Stellar's, side, to really kind of put a little bit more initiative behind XLM to not only utilize it properly a little bit more, but also scale its use. Because I feel like XLM is definitely utilized in some great ways, but it's very minuscule. So I want to see that being focused on in this year. Of course, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Now, I do think that a lot of the use from the XLM side of things will most likely come from a lot of those smart contracts that are coming from Sorbonne. But we'll have to wait and see on that side as well, because, it has been very successful. I just want to see what happens this year, because I think that this year is going to be a crucial one, especially considering the fact that if we are betting big on this being the year where we do finally see alt season and the big bull run, we should be putting up some very solid numbers on the board for not just the Stellar ecosystem as a whole, but also XLM. So I think that by the end of this year, we should really know how much use for XLM there really is, and what's actually happening around XLM. But I would like to see a little bit more initiative from the Stellar team to really kind of, scale the utility of XLM. But so far, has been an incredible last, last quarter. I mean, quarter 4 of 2024 has been insane. Let's see what quarter 1 of 2025 brings, but so far there has been some pretty big moves made from Stellar side. I love the PayFi initiative. I think that this is a game changer. I think that this is definitely a big one for the Web3 ecosystem as a whole, but also the tokenized economy. Outside of that, just the focus on scaling the Stellar ecosystem and the network is definitely a big one. I think that this is going to be, I think from this point on, we will probably see some pretty big updates from the Stellar side of things because of the fact that they're now ready to scale. Number one, I look at some of the partnerships that they have. We know that the MasterCard partnership is a big one. The Franklin Templeton one is huge. Wisdom Tree. Don't overlook the Wisdom Tree one, because the Wisdom Tree one is directly tied into their actual app. So that one is a big one to also mention. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.